recording. Okay. Share screen. Which one is it now? Yes. How do I get this thing to go? Okay. So I'm not going to try to do all the slides. This is what the poster looks like, and I'm just going to run you through a quick commentary on what each one contains. If I can get slideshow going here. Okay. So this is the abstract. This is cut and paste from the APS site, and it shows a scattering matrix here. This is a 8 by 8 by 8 matrix. So the vacuum wave function in Pauli algebra, which is Clifford algebra, which is the algebra of quantum mechanics, but we're looking in the geometric representation rather than the matrix representation of Pauli and Dirac. Is 8 components: a scalar, 3 vectors, 3 bivector area elements, and a volume element, a trivector. So to do things in real space, you need to have 3 of these vacuum wave functions to start with, and they're orthogonal. So you've got a Rubik's Cube, but instead of 3 by 3 by 3, it's 8 by 8 by 8. So that's the scattering matrix. It exists in physical space in some sense. The scales are actually, that's not exactly correct. Anyhow, let me go on here. So there's an outline here. We look at this. Oh, before I do, just touching on this, look at GPT-4. There's stuff on quantum impedance networks on my ResearchGate page, which hopefully you can find. An outline looks like that. The only thing I'm going to dwell on here is the claims that the model's naturally gauge invariant without renormalization, finite, confined, asymptotically free. It's background independent, and it contains the 4 forces, or it appears to anyhow. So we want to know what the group of this thing is, this 8 by 8 by 8 object. And what I'm I'm showing GPT-4 it says that the wave function components can be thought of as the group generators. So we've got 3 group generators here that are defining the vacuum wave function, and the 8 by 8 by 8S matrix, then you'd think would be the root vectors of whatever this thing is. But GPT says no. He says there's some difference between the algebra and the physics here. I don't understand that, but certainly to get some clarification from somebody would be great. This is the theoretical assumptions. We can run through that quick. It's just geometry, fields, and a mass gap. The 3 things that you need to actually build the model. That's the assumptions. Here we're impedance matching a photon to the hydrogen atom. This is a plot of just a single free electron. So you've got something anchoring this thing here. And it sees the Bohr radius and the impedances of the electric and magnetic flux quanta that comprise the photon. The electric gets shifted forward by the dipole impedance, and the magnetic gets shifted backwards. So it decouples the 2 phases, and that electric flux quantum goes up and matches the quantum Hall impedance here, which is also the centrifugal impedance, and pops that electron off the proton. That's how the photon, and this isn't you don't learn this in school. This is information that got lost, this impedance matching stuff. And the electron, just like the photon, has this near field behavior, and it's important because impedances are what govern the amplitude and phase of energy transmission. So in addition to that, there's a network of impedances associated with the electron, as you're going to see. This just talks about geometric algebra, a universal language for mathematical physics. David Hestenes was awarded the Oersted Medal by the American Association of Physics Teachers for reforming the mathematical language of physics. This is what the scattering matrix looks like when you've got 2 of these wave functions interacting. Blue are the eigenstates, the nominally stable stuff, and yellow are the transition modes. So you've got U1s, some SU2s, some more SU2s, another U1 here. That's interesting. And you've got these SU3s here, the eigenmode SU3. So this is the claim that that's what this could be, but I don't understand it well enough to be able to say whether that's true or not. It's just one way of looking at it, and it's a way of looking at it that's not properly understood in my mind. So then but anyhow, you can do the impedance matches. You can see that the structure of the impedance nodes are matched to the unstable particle coherence lengths, their lifetimes, and that matching between the network and the nodes is because the impedances are matched at the nodes, and that's where the particles decay, where the energy can flow without being reflected back. So these impedance networks, you can move over to the Planck length and look at the origin of gravitational mass. Here you have the origin of inertial mass at this Compton scale. Or you can look out at the boundary of the observable universe. So that's pretty much what I'm done with here. We'd like to have this physical S matrix. We'd like to know what to call the thing. It doesn't make any sense because the model that we're working with is actually 10-dimensional. The geometry itself is 8-dimensional, but you put in electric and magnetic fields. So then it's the 10 dimensions of string theory, but I can't find anything that tells me about string theory groups and how it's tied into group theory, but I haven't looked very hard. So thank you very much for your time. I'm done. How do I turn it off? Hello, stop video, stop something else, stop share, and stop recording. Okay.